Introduction. I am curled up in the back seat of my car. Beads of sweat cover my face and I'm trembling. A stabbing pain slices through my gut. The car door by my head is slightly ajar because I might need to lean out and hurl at any second. How much time has gone by since I darted out of the office? Have my coworkers noticed that I'm missing? I am ashamed and furious with myself. Here I am in my late 40s and I still drink enough, on a work night no less, to cause debilitating hangovers. At any age, this predicament would be embarrassing. At middle age, it's a big neon sign screaming, something's got to change. How did I get here? I used to pose that question whenever I disappointed myself. Hangovers were not the only occasion for such self-flagellation. Lying around all weekend watching TV and scrolling on my phone or letting another gym membership lapse made me wonder why I was so weak-willed. Reading a book by a gifted author reminded me that I was falling short of my potential, or, even worse, that I had overestimated my potential in the first place. The question of how I got there was rhetorical. I wanted to wallow in self-loathing and pity. The trickier task of real introspection was not so enticing. A couple of years after that hellacious hangover and other subsequent benders, I decided to make some changes. I launched a blog, started moving my body more, stopped drinking, looked around for more adventure, signed up for a pricey 6-month class to push myself to write. After decades of being tightly wound, I was going through an unfurling, and it was exhilarating. I danced in the kitchen, woke up at 5 o'clock in the morning to write, tried aerial yoga, ziplining, Pilates, and flotation therapy. I was alive and hungry and happy. In that writing class, I created a book proposal in which I argued that feminist leaders and organizations should take up the issue of women and alcohol. I believed then, and still do, that drinking hampers women's potential in a society where we are already at a disadvantage. However, anointing myself as an expert on the topic didn't feel quite right. I hadn't made the effort to figure out what had happened to me. Thus, I didn't possess the assuredness to stand behind what I was writing. I put that proposal away and carried on with my unfurling. Eventually, the questions returned. Why had I been stuck for so long? What was behind my drinking? Penchant for procrastination and my attachment to distraction. My self-doubt was clearly at the root of many of my issues. How had it become so domineering? Maybe it's time to revive my book, I mused, but this time I'll use the writing process to form a theory rather than starting out with one. My energy, curiosity, and promise as a writer had been stymied, and I was going to explore how this obstruction had happened on my watch. Early on, I realized there was another query. Who the heck am I anyway? Writing this memoir became a parallel search for my authentic self. As I pieced together my story, I hoped that one day it would mark the way for someone else, or at least let others know that they are not alone. But first I had to write with the knowledge that this book might never leave my laptop. I had to be okay with the possibility that these words were just for me. Chapter 1. What is menopause? Before we can dive into the weight loss portion of this book, we have to talk about what menopause actually is. Most people have a very basic idea of what menopause is, but it is usually just surface level. In order to fully understand what you need to put in place to help with weight loss, you need to know what is going on in your body. The female body is a complex system, but the more you understand it, the more prepared you will be for what is to come or what you are currently going through. First things first, menopause is a completely normal part of life for women. We all go through it in the second half of life, and it marks a change in our bodies. This is a period of transition when our bodies move on from the childbearing phase. It is also important to note that every woman's experience will be different. Some are affected by many menopausal symptoms, and others will have a much milder time of it. There is no way to guarantee what your menopause will look like, since it is so different for everyone. But if you do want a clue, then you can look at your mother and sisters if they have already gone through it. Genetics play a role here, so it does help to have a look at the females in your family, but it is not guaranteed that your menopause will mirror theirs. Menopause is defined as the time 12 months after you have had your last period. Once you haven't had a period for 12 months in a row, you are in menopause. The time before that, where you might have irregular periods, hot flashes, or other menopausal symptoms, is called menopausal transition or perimenopause. This transition usually happens between the ages of 45 to 55, but can happen sooner or later depending on the person. It will usually last about 7 years, but there are also some women who go through it for up to 14 years. The reason for most of these symptoms occurring is because of the fluctuating hormones in the body. Estrogen and progesterone are the two hormones that are going to be fluctuating the most during this time. Due to this, there will be many changes that take place in the body. It will start to use energy differently, and fat cells usually change, which is why gaining weight tends to be easier during this time. Your body might even change shape and start looking a bit different. This shouldn't be something that you should be scared of or dreading because it is a wonderful part about being a woman. Women are the only ones whose bodies have the capabilities to go through all of these changes, and it really is quite magnificent. Are you interested in using medicinal plants so you won't have to depend on pharmaceuticals to remedy every minor ailment? Do you want to restore your vitality and improve your health in a natural way? While conventional medicine is essential in treating many health problems, it's reassuring to know that you can also find relief through natural alternatives such as medicinal herbs. Aside from being inexpensive, herbs have also been used since the dawn of mankind. Those herbs that add flavor to your food are actually potent in boosting your health and helping you combat different ailments, only if you know how to use them. But how will you know which herbs can help with your health concerns? You might be wondering how you can prepare, store, and consume them to maximize their health benefits. Look no further because this audiobook will show you the way. You will discover what herbs to use for some of the most common ailments, straightforward herbal formulations with step-by-step instructions on how to prepare them for the best results. 46 herb profiles with suggested plant pairings, safety precautions, and the health issues they address. 15 phytochemicals found in medicinal herbs that give them potency and what specific health benefits they offer, and much more. You don't need any sophisticated equipment to create these remedies. You most likely have the necessary things at home already, such as a blender, a jar, and a wooden spoon. It can truly be this simple. Nature already offers what you need to stay healthy. You just need to know how to harness its relieving power. If you want to experience the power of herbalism and stop relying on modern medicine alone, listen to this audiobook now.